Welcome to a new episode of the Opening Bid Unfiltered podcast. I'm Yahoo Finance Executive Editor Brian Sozzi. Like I always say, this is the podcast that will make you a smarter investor, period. And you're going to get a lot smarter, as always, in this episode. Special guest here, former Yahoo member, which I just learned more about. But now he's the CEO of GoFundMe, Tim Cadogan. Good to see you. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you very much. As I said, it's always good to be back at Yahoo and very glad to be talking to you today. Thanks so much.
Just to be clear, I mean, this is a different building. I mean, you worked in 2003 to 2008 at Yahoo?
Yeah, I was in Sunnyvale at HQ, and I think we had different buildings everywhere. I think we don't even own that building anymore, but it was an amazing experience. I helped run the search business and then the ad business, and it was just a fantastic 5 years and super grateful. I'm really glad that Yahoo is having another renaissance and you guys are growing and doing well. It's so good.
Well, we appreciate those kind of words. Before we get into GoFundMe, what was it like in those early days of building Yahoo and the internet? You know, you go to battle with Google?
Yeah, I mean, we were in a sort of really intense battle with Google, obviously with search, because that's what Google was doing then. And then about, I think, a year into my time there, they introduced Gmail, which was, nowadays it's a classic, sorry to bring it up, but it is a classic case study in disruption. And just being on the responding end of that and seeing how we could try and respond and interact, and as they broaden their offering, it was a very interesting time as the internet was changing. And from a sort of career point of view, as a guy in his early 30s running a big business and just learning so much, and amazing colleagues, and our alumni network has gone on to do.
Everybody knows everybody. If you're at Yahoo, you know everybody. I mean, some of this AI stuff now is going to blow your mind, right?
It's incredible. I mean, as someone who started their career in search, looking at what you can now do, and we used to think of search as the sort of consciousness of America. You could see what people were thinking about in real time as they expressed it. But now with AI, the ability to see what people are interested in trying to do, but the level of the response is just incredible.
Just like by typing in a prompt, somebody could know my whole life history.
It's really incredible. And fortunately, we get to use that in our product at GoFundMe because we're trying to help people help each other. Yeah. And so we've been really, really digging in over the last 2 years. How do we weave it into the products our customers use, whether they're asking for help or giving? And it's yielding fascinating results.
So I know GoFundMe. I go on the internet if I needed to raise money in a time of need. I know GoFundMe as this place on the internet. But take us inside the business of GoFundMe. What does it look like today?
Well, it's very simple concept and mission, which is we exist to help people help each other. And that started with individuals asking for help for what was important in their lives. And that could be something for you, yourself, it can be a friend, it can be a relative, it can be something very difficult like a medical situation, or it can be something great like wanting to support your friend who's going on a mission trip. That has now evolved to also providing software to nonprofits. So this is something a lot of people don't know, is that we now power the fundraising software for about 5,000 of the leading nonprofits in America.
Full stop, I didn't know that.
World Central Kitchen, Salvation Army, Direct Relief, Médecins Sans Frontières, all use our software. So that's a sort of a newer part of the business, but it boils down to the same thing. Those are organizations that are helping people. And so we help them get help, and then we also help individuals get help through sort of classic GoFundMe, if you like.
Well, what does the Salvation Army use your software to do?
So when you go to Salvation Army and you decide to donate, they're using our software to manage that donation process. And actually, we're going to be doing some really interesting work with them this Christmas season on the Red Kettle, because the Red Kettle is one of the
iconic,
sort of iconic,
especially here in New York City.
Yeah, it's absolutely iconic, and so we're helping them digitize that in certain markets. So we'll be learning a lot more about how that works.
You track, you're on the internet. How much money have you raised this year? What does this look like?
Well, I'll tell you, over 15 years. We've had over $40 billion raised.
Massive.
$40 billion. And that we've had about 200 million people use the platform. And, in America, to be a bit more specific, we have amazing awareness. We have a 90% aided awareness. So almost everyone's heard of GoFundMe, and a lot of people have used it. A third of adult Americans have used GoFundMe to help each other at this point. Last thing I say is we're also in 19 other countries. All of Europe, Canada, Australia. We launched Mexico last year. And they're all growing strongly. And it's interesting because I think people assume that there are going to be very big cultural differences, but actually people everywhere do want to help each other. It's sort of what makes us human, right? We're a social species, we help each other.
What is your read on the economy, look through the prism of GoFundMe. I mean, prices for medical expenses, burials. I mean, not to get depressing. I mean, these things have gone through the roof the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, we continue to see all categories grow. I think maybe one indicator that's interesting is we have a group of sort of a category of fundraising we call essentials, which are things like rent, utility bills, car payments, sort of your basic things you need to get through life. That category has gone up significantly in the last 3 years in practically all our markets because affordability is an issue in essentially all OECD economies.
So people starting GoFundMe campaigns just to get food, and I don't mean to sound flippant. I just think natural disaster, GoFundMe. I don't necessarily think, wow, I need groceries.
Yes, in some cases, very sadly, that is happening.
Wow.
We're seeing that more and more.
Where do where does, you're not the typical, I mean, you're not a public company. So
No,
how do you think about growth for a business like this?
Very simple. How do we create more help? How do we help people get more help? We measure that in the total amount of money that people donate. But I think one thing that maybe unless you've been involved in a GoFundMe fundraiser, you don't realize is the money is the easy way to measure it. What actually happens when you have a fundraiser and you say have 50 people support you, the moral and emotional support that people derive from that is immense. I'll give you a very real example. I'm from LA. I live in Altadena. It's one of the 2 towns that was burned. So I have many, many friends who've lost their houses and had GoFundMes. One of our customers told me, this GoFundMe is not just the $30,000 that I raised. It's the fact that 300 people from across my whole life gave to help me and my partner in my hour of need. And that is an unfathomable amount of love. So those are his exact words. So there's obviously a financial part to it, but there's an emotional and psychological support side to what we enable people to do for one another.
Are those funds still coming in to support
They are,
the
but they're much less. Crises tend to have a pretty fast half-life in terms of response. So it's weeks and months. The good side of that is we can get help to people essentially quicker than any other system. So with LA, we enabled people to raise over $250 million. Vast majority of that raised and delivered to people in a month.
This has been an interesting year from a U.S. perspective. I mean, the trade has been upended by the administration, and we've really focused on the U.S. What is America First policy? How has it impacted giving?
Giving, it's an interesting trend. Overall giving, I'm not talking just about GoFundMe here. Last year was up about 6%, but the number of people giving was down as an industry.
Last year?
Yeah, last year. Can't speak to this year currently. Well, one of the things that we're really focused on is how do we increase the total amount of GDP that goes to giving. So it's actually about 2%.
It's nothing.
It's pretty modest, and it's been stuck there for 50 years. And as you see this shift in maybe governments doing less, we think there's a real opportunity to help increase that percentage, specifically in the US. And one of the keys to that opportunity, we believe firmly, is Gen Z and millennials. There's a huge wealth transfer underway as boomers and even the older generation begin to pass away. It's about 80 to $100 trillion of wealth coming to younger generations. And Gen Z in particular is far more inclined to express what they care about publicly. A Gen Z person is 10 times more likely to share a fundraiser they've given to than a boomer because they're digital natives.
Yeah.
They live online and they want to express this part of their identity. So a lot of the products that we're building are geared towards helping people who want to share, want to contribute, maybe don't have that much money right now, but can have a big influence through the way that they tell the stories of the people and causes that they care about.
What are some of those products you are working on that will help entice this younger generation to give?
Well, we have a really cool new product called Giving Funds. Mm-hmm. So just a little bit of context. There's a very interesting financial product called a Donor Advised Fund, often known as a DAF. It's a good product. Basically, it's a charitable savings account. You take money. Once you put it into that account, you get a tax saving, and then you can give it to charities. This product has existed for 30 years. Less than 1% of Americans have them. So it's a good concept, but it hasn't been popularized yet. We've built Giving Funds, which is a mass market, mainstream way to have that charitable savings account. Free to put money in. As you invest it, you make gains, and we don't take any assets under management fee.
Makes sense.
Which is very different. All the other models are provided by financial institutions that make assets under management. And the key is we built it so that it encourages people to give, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to increase that percentage of GDP. We're trying to get people to build that giving habit more. So this launched in July. We've already had tens of thousands of people sign up.
And this is mostly what, the younger generation?
I mean, we think it's for anybody because it's incredibly easy. Obviously, this is very appealing to younger folks because it's an app. You can sign up in less than 5 minutes. You can move money in a minute or two. And once you get to donating, one of the 1.4 million charities we have on GoFundMe, it takes less than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
No check, no call to a financial advisor.
You can't make it any easier
fees.
than that to give money.
It is like, let's just make it as easy as possible to give and also to plan. So in our research, we know that people do want to plan. They want to understand, like, hey, do I want to give a % of my salary? Do I want to give every month? So we built some very simple planning tools, very simple investment tools, and just making it super easy to build that habit that you want to build.
Yeah. Hang with us, Tim. We're going to go off for a quick break. We'll be right back on Opening Bid Unfiltered. All right, welcome back to Opening Bid Unfiltered. Having a great chat here with GoFundMe CEO and Yahoo alum, Tim Cadogan. You mentioned the wealth transfer from baby boomers to the next generation. Like, what does that ultimately mean for the wider giving industry?
It means that you're going to have a lot more capital in the hands of a generation that is actually even more predisposed to be philanthropic and to help. So that's a tremendous opportunity for all of us. And there are amazing organizations out there that need that help. And part of what we're trying to do, part of the reason that we're in the business of providing software and technology to nonprofits is to connect the dots between nonprofit fundraising and individual fundraising. And what I mean specifically about that is through GoFundMe, individuals can also fundraise for a nonprofit. So they can use all the tools and technology we give you to share and amplify and be effective in the digital world, but on behalf of a nonprofit and a cause that you care about. That's really powerful. I'll give you an example. We've been working this year with American Cancer Society, and they wanted to pilot a new program of enlisting a whole new set of people to tell the story about why ACS and why fighting and combating cancer matters to them. With them, we've enabled over 40,000 people this year alone to set up fundraisers where they're doing a run or walk or swim or ride. And what they're doing is not just fundraising, they're brand raising. They're reaching out to their family, their community, saying, I care about this for this reason. I'm doing this thing. I'd love to enlist your support. So it's raised a bunch of money, but it's reached 10 million people. So that awareness driving, you can think of it as a kind of earned marketing. You're not paying for it. You're encouraging people who support you to go and ask on your behalf as a nonprofit. And this is a gear shift for a lot of nonprofits, but it's one that they're really starting to lean into because they know they need to connect with and be relevant to younger folks.
Who do you compete with?
Well, in the US, we're by far the largest player from a personal fundraising point of view. In some of our international markets, we have competitors who are country specific. In the UK, there's a company called Just Giving that does a good job, and we compete with them. But really, there's no one else who provides personal fundraising in 20 countries, and there's no one else who has this combination of the individual fundraising and the organizational fundraising, and the fusion of the two of them, which we think is extremely exciting for the sort of next 5 or 10 years.
It's weird. It's not like Pepsi battling Coca-Cola,
No.
and vice versa. I mean, at the end of the day, you're competing, but you're both doing good.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating.
I tell you what we're really competing with. We are competing with the difficulty we all face as humans to ask for help. That is our biggest challenge.
People get embarrassed.
none of us like asking for help. And certainly, I haven't I regularly ask at a conference, who likes helping? Everyone puts their hand up. Who likes asking for help? Maybe one or two.
Nobody.
Who likes asking for help in public?
Yeah.
None,
None.
right? No one likes that, but that's what it takes. But it's an act of courage. But when you take that act of courage, then you open a door, because people want to help, but they do need to be asked. You ever had a friend who you want to help but they haven't asked? Mm-hmm. That's not an easy conversation.
No, it's not.
But when they ask, whatever it is, then you're so happy to be asked. And you're also unhappy if another friend was asked and you weren't. Like, that doesn't go very well. So think of it, I always compare ourselves a little bit to what Airbnb or Uber had to do. If you'd said 15 years ago, you're going to get in the back seat of a stranger's car. Like, that goes against one of the most fundamental things we were all taught as children. Never get in a stranger's car.
Or what about a car with no driver in it?
Right, well, yeah, that's the next level. Or, you're going to stay in a stranger's house.
Yeah.
And yet, those two companies have done an amazing job. We are doing, and we still have more to do, we are doing the same, except for asking for help. Because when you make that ask, then you start to see the community that's around you.
How are international consumers giving differently than those in the U.S.?
It varies by country. One thing that's interesting is actually medically oriented fundraising is the number one fundraising category in all countries, which surprises a lot of people because the health systems are so different. But the reason for that is when you have something that affects your mortality, everyone wants to help. And the reality is that there actually aren't that many things you can do. You can't make someone better, but you can do a GoFundMe because what it shows is that you care. And there are always more needs and costs associated with medical care beyond even just the medical care. But then it varies. Like some countries like the UK and Germany, animals are very high. You see interesting patterns like in Spain, you see a lot of fundraising, not for direct medical expenses, but for equipping a home or a car with handicapped equipment if you had
things many take for granted here.
Yeah, so it varies by market. But the main themes are consistent, which is it's supporting people in their tougher times, helping them go to college, helping them with college expenses, helping with community projects. I was just in Rome and we had several amazing customers, for instance, renovating a park or putting up a mural that the community wanted.
And people donate for flowers or...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, all kinds of different things.
Where is this platform 5 years from now?
Well, I hope... that right now we are available to about 1 billion people to ask for help. Today, only a small minority are using for that. So I hope that we've reached many more people. For instance, 1/3 of Americans have used this. I hope that we're way over half, maybe 2/3. 20% of Brits, I think we should be at half, and so on. So I think hopefully a lot more people have felt comfortable. Well, I rephrase that we have made them feel comfortable enough to use this, to ask for help, and realize the benefits of that. And that we have connected the dots between individual fundraising and organizational fundraising in a way that sort of opened a new chapter for nonprofits in all the countries we operate in.
We talked briefly about trends in the U.S. and economic read-throughs, people trying to raise money for basic necessities. Are there other countries overseas where you're seeing that most acutely happen as well?
Really, most of the European markets are similar. The cost of affordability crisis is not specific to any one country. I don't, off the top of my head, don't know if there's one that's more specific than the others. It's very much a general trend that we've seen everywhere.
Have you seen a resistance of international consumers unwilling to give to those in the U.S., given how some changing views from the administration?
No, look, most fundraising is not just local. It's like most people giving to most fundraisers, they know you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They either know you or know you through a friend. But some fundraisers that are on topics that just have widespread attention. Crises, fires, floods, hurricanes. They will attract people from all around the world. I think we had more than 100 countries represented in giving, whether it be Hurricane Helene or the LA wildfires. But typically on the more personal level, it's community fundraising, right? People use the word crowdfunding. It's not really accurate. Crowd implies a large group of strangers. Yeah. It's a community of people that know you and know of you, whether through a church group or sports team or school PTA. That's who's giving.
Lastly, I would love to get your, we always do a hot take at the end of our podcast. My question for you is this. why are you so passionate about this? Just spending some time with you now.
Yeah.
I could see how a career at Yahoo would take you to a platform like this. It's digital, it's everything you do well, but you seem to have a real passion for this topic.
I do. Well, I had a side thing alongside what I did after Yahoo. I started my own company, but more relevant to this, I became a search and rescue volunteer in 2010. So going and rescuing people in the mountains around LA. Surprisingly, we have pretty big 10,000-foot mountains that are pretty gnarly. And nothing in my life ever felt like helping someone the worst day of their life and helping them get safe. And that's what we do. Right, we do that as a platform for people around the world. We get them help. Doesn't always have to be a tough day. It can be a wonderful day. I just think that's one of the best things about us as humans. We have many attributes, some of them not so great, but one of them, a good one, is we help each other. We've always lived together. We've always lived in villages and now towns and cities, and none of it exists unless we help each other, and we get to play a little bit of a part in that, and it's an honor to do this.
Are you still doing that?
I am. Yeah, I was on ARP 2 Saturdays ago.
Climbing mountains?
It was a chest pains case. Ended up being dehydration. We got them out. They were fine. But yeah, I don't do it as much as I used to because I'm pretty busy. But it was a Saturday night and I wasn't going out. I'm like, I can go help.
Wow. Remember to a lot of the CEO friends that I talk to, go do something charitable like that. This is good stuff, Tim. It was really good to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for all the work you're doing and the kind words on Yahoo. We appreciate it.
Oh, love you guys.
All right. That is it for the latest Opening Bid Unfiltered podcast. Please do continue to hit us with all that love on the podcast platforms. Hit me with some stars. Give me some feedback, especially on YouTube. Really loving all the comments you're giving me on there. It makes me better doing this every single time. We'll talk to you soon.